So I'm Colleen Weigel. I am the farm coordinator for Intervale Green. WEDCO, Women's Housing Economic Development Corporation, is a nonprofit that owns the building and runs the programs that we have on site, one of which is the urban farm. And so the building itself was developed in adherence with Energy Star requirements, and at one point, if it's still not today, was the largest Energy Star building in the country. So we always had healthy, environmentally sound mission in mind when we built the building, and one of those missions was to have a green roof up on the roof. And then last fall of 2009, we had the opportunity to apply for a grant to turn the green roof into an urban farm, and we were lucky enough to receive that grant. So what we did with that grant money is develop a farm up on our roof. So basically we turned it from a green roof into an urban farm, which took a lot of work. And we hired people who were green thumbs to help us, along the way. And my role is just to make sure that we're getting the tenants involved, because the ideal goal is for them to take full ownership of this program. And so the goal of the program is to provide healthy eating opportunities for them that they wouldn't otherwise have in this neighborhood. And also just to provide another activity that they wouldn't have in the city of New York. It's very difficult to find a farm of this nature in the 5 boroughs.
Yeah.
Here, smell it.
That one?
No, the other one.
That's
Not that beautiful. You smell that?
Yeah.
And we have volunteers coming in from Sierra Club. They're going to help us do some work on the roof.
Sierra Club?
Yeah.
Oh, are you going to see Sierra?
No. No.
And that's it. That's what we do. We try to get tenants to become aware of what we grow on the roof, vegetables that are available for protein. We're sauteing the sage and the garlic in the oil because we want the oil to get fragrance from the sage and also the garlic. And the garlic will become less strong, so it'll give it a lot of flavor. And then we'll put in the meat. This week we have sausages, but put in, what did we put it in the weeks before?
In the past, lots of ground turkey, ground meat. A little bit of chicken last week, I think. And always vegetables. Those are the key.
Always vegetables.
My name is Fatai Shea, and I am a professor at the New School. I teach urban agriculture in the food studies department. I've been working intimately with WEDCO, which is a nonprofit that works with families in the Bronx, providing homes and services to disenfranchised women, homeless women. And they have a building up in the Bronx by Intervale Avenue. They have a green roof, but they wanted to put a rooftop farm there as part of their health and wellness program. So women I used to go to school with in graduate school worked at WEDCO, and she was interested in pursuing this idea of putting a farm on a rooftop of one of their buildings.
Struggling for a magic grain, we throw life to the winds like rain. For goodness sake, spare your failings and take the ability to strengthen our spirit. and stimulate all minds. Blossoms of days to
It's
come.
good for children to participate because right now there is such a crisis around our food culture. Children are not, or not even just children, but the population in general, are disconnected from where their food comes from. And as a result, there has been a lot of discussions about obesity, about eating food that is not real food, but that is industry food. Eating lots of junk food, going to fast food, not knowing where your food comes from creates this disconnect between the person and their ability to nourish themselves.
They changed it up. No, probably they never fixed my room. Stuck on anything green.
That's me. I'm going to me right now. What's wrong?
My name's Will Beller. I'm an intern at the rooftop farm here at Intervale Green, Wedco's residence building. I started working here on the farm in April. In March of last year, or March of this year, I had run a reduce, reuse, recycle children's event for Wedco, and when they needed somebody to work on the farm, they asked me, and I said I'd be willing to. I was excited about it. It's been a great experience. Starting in April, I started working up on the roof. First setting up the farm stuff, planting things, removing shales from bins and replacing it with compost and soil. Since then, since July and August, we've been running more events, more community events for the residents. Some of that has included work on the farm, and at the same time, the people who work on the urban farm, have had to keep up with the upkeep, planting stuff, continue to harvest, continue to water, continue to look for bugs and things like that eat the plants. But we've also added these community events on Tuesday nights and Saturday morning and afternoons.
Thank you. Oh, those are
Chantel,
Chantel, give me a
Chantel, you get some.
So give me a plate.
What's your name? Devontae, you get some.
Can I get a plate, Chantel? Go ahead.
Who else wants some? What's your name again?
You guys want some food?
Aaron?
Let me get one.
Collard greens from the roof. And what is your name?
Donovan, there's plenty of plates.
Jacob, you gonna? Okay, why don't you take that one?
Donovan, there's
Is
plenty
that
of
your
plates.
brother? Okay. How old are you guys?
No, right here.
I'm 11, he's 6.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
The way people have responded and the excitement they've expressed, if you have people who know what they're doing with that stuff, I think it is a great example. Kids are excited on Saturday mornings when we get here. They're excited on Tuesday nights when Fatai and I come in. The second we come, we set up the table. Oh, you're cooking. Okay, great. When is it going to be ready? Or
I think farming and cooking is a lost art. I think the American population right now, more than ever before, do not know how to cook and do not know how to feed themselves. And it's a shame because it impacts our connection with the environment. It impacts our relationship with food. And I think to reconnect with that brings a lot of good results that you might not see right now, but later down the road. So I guess what I'm saying is, get back in touch with farming and cooking. I think that's one of the lost, well, it's not lost yet, but it's one of the activities that our generation do not know how to do.
been a big learning lesson, like how to start this urban farm. And it was, there's a lot of legal issues we had to deal with respect to the fence, and like how do we get these parents engaged? How do we get the kids engaged, and what do we have to look out for and stuff? Because having 120 units in one building, you're either going to be overwhelmed with people or underwhelmed with people. And so we're still trying to figure out how to engage them. But it's been really inspiring to watch the 5 to 10 tenants who are involved really get into it with the cooking clubs and sharing recipes and going to the wellness classes. And it may seem like a low number when it's only 5 people, but I think we have to keep in mind that this has just been 1 year, and I think 10 years from now this will get a lot of publicity and will have a great effect on a lot of people's lives, and before you know it, people will be eating their greens before they eat their fried chicken.